Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is part two of my series. So this isn't going to follow the timeline, I guess. I'm going to kind of go off timeline real quick and talk about some things that have been going on in the TFAS, Twin Flame University, whatever, the community with Jeff and Shaleia and the so-called twin flames that are in that group. So, let's start with this. There are some so-called new twin flame unions that have just happened. And it's funny because, excuse me, I think damn near every one of them the person they were with, their so-called twin flame, was not originally their twin flame. Jeff and Shaleia had confirmed, quote unquote, confirmed that their twin flame was actually someone else. I find this kind of interesting because Jeff and Shaleia have constantly stated in many posts and their videos and everything like that, that they can 100% confirm if someone is or is not someone's twin flame. So to have a lot of people, pretty much everyone, who were in these groups, almost everyone who were in these groups and in these classes, now have completely different twin flames is very questionable. Because if you are able to tell if someone was someone's true exact twin flame because you're such a divine channel, there shouldn't be any mix-ups, one, to begin with, but even if there are, I can see a few, but to have, like, I want to say, it's not an exact percentage, but, you know, pretty much almost everyone from my class, and then a bunch of people from other classes who have completely different twin flames, is extremely interesting. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, because I don't think it's funny because it sucks for people who are in these groups or in this group, and you're originally told that someone else is your twin flame, you're told that someone is your twin flame, and you're constantly pursuing them, whether they're available or not, and you're told that if they're not, if you're not having communication with them, or if you're experiencing any type of resistance from them, that it's your fault. Like, you need to work, you need to do the mirror exercises, healing exercise, to heal those blocks within you to help clear that separation. And when you heal those blocks, you're also healing the blocks, certain blocks that your twin flame has as well. So you're healing both parties. So you become almost obsessed with this person who you assume is your twin flame, and you're pursuing them, and you're focused on them. So you're ignoring everyone else who's coming into your life as far as, like, love interest. And I'm not saying that's bad. Like, if you're talking to someone romantically, I understand if you're not trying to talk to 20 different people. Like, I'm not saying that's bad or anything like that, but you're becoming so focused on this one person, and because you have these people who you consider your spiritual teachers and who you think are able to look into the spiritual side of you and this other person, determine if they're your twin flame or not, and they tell you, yes, that is your twin flame, and you're only focused on finding your ultimate lover, your perfect partner, you're not going to look anywhere else. And I'm hoping I'm saying this in a way that all makes sense, versus all over the place, because I know I can be that way sometimes. So you're focused on this one person, for some people, years, 3+ years, 5+ years, whatever. Like I said, I used to work with Jeff and Shaleia. I think it was in October of 2017 was originally when I reached out to Jeff about coaching. And I think it was right before Thanksgiving. No, right before Christmas that year. No. Sorry, it was right before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving that year that Jeff had confirmed that this person that had reached out to me via online was my so-called twin flame. And how this originally happened, because this was before the live classes started, so I'll kind of go into this and I'll kind of go back to something that I was going to touch base on. So how this had happened was there was me and a few other people in this, I think it was on Sundays originally, I think it was on Sundays originally was when I was taking these classes because of my work schedule, and I had Sundays available. We did an exercise pretty much where we all looked deep down pretty much spiritually to see if me and this person I was pursuing, her nickname was Mo, but if we were pretty much twin flames. And even I still had some resistance whether this one was my twin flame or not. I was just like I don't know, there was something about it, but I was like, you know what, everyone else is confirming that this woman is my so-called twin flame, and I'm like, I think she's my twin flame, but I'm not quite sure, honestly. And it was another person in the group as well, I forget their name, it was so long ago, but they had some resistance on whether they were able to see if this person was my twin flame or not. And we were pretty much shocked, and they were like, yeah, well, she's like, I feel like there's some resistance. And I was like, yeah, 'cause that's kind of how I feel right now. So they were like, well, maybe she's just picking up on your vibes, blah, 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 blah. So Jeff was like, well, this person is your twin flame, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I stayed focused on this person. I was constantly reaching out to him. We had a good friendship for the most part, and it kind of started slowly deteriorating as I started focusing on what was making me happy and focusing on things that I pretty much live in my life, and just choosing to be with divine source, God, whatever you want to call it, but that energy, right? And she slowly started to fade away, honestly, as I was continuing to do this, and me just thinking that I just had more upsets that were coming up that needed to be healed so we could work through this and all this other crap. Like, I even went and saw my twin flame, or the so-called twin flame of mine, who is not my twin flame, by the way. Even went and saw this woman, spent like a week with her and all the rest of this crap, and because I was so focused and so driven that this was my twin flame, because everyone had said this was my twin flame, and I had bought into the fact that she was my twin flame, that I was like, this is my twin flame, so I'm going to do what I have to do to make it work. So yeah, it was just weird. I don't want to say weird, but it was whatever. It was a whole bunch of foolishness. So like I said, a lot of people in the group now are with completely different twin flames, so which means that Jeff and Shaleia were not accurate in determining who these people's twin flames really are, because if you're saying that you can give 100% accuracy on whether someone's their twin flame or not, you should not have pretty much most of the people in your class have completely different twin flames. That makes no sense. Just saying. One guy in particular, I think he was following his so-called twin flame I've been in the group for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then to turn around and now he's all of a sudden got a different twin flame, and he's taking that Jeff and Shaleia's word And, you know, whatever. He went and visited his, this so-called new twin flame and everything. I'll probably try to post some videos. I'll, of course, block their faces and all that goodness. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because, like I said, Jeff and Shaleia, they claim to be divine channels, that they can immediately determine if someone is someone's twin flame or not, blah, 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 blah. So here's another interesting thing. And this is kind of where it's going to go into the meat and potatoes of this particular video. So Jeff and Shaleia have always claimed, like, they can always sense if someone's not aligning with them correctly or aligning with the group, which that's a whole other different situation with that one, honestly, is how I feel. Hey, Tiger baby. But they always talk about how, they can sense if someone's out of alignment with them, out of alignment with the group, if they're falling away, if they're really not doing their healing work, they can tell, etc., etc. And they also claim that people who don't align with the group will naturally fall away. This is what they've said in many groups, and this is what they said in many videos, blah, 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 blah. Because there was... This one I don't have any proof on, like I said, like, you know, because this was before the recording classes, so it is what it is. But there was these two people in my group when I first started, two females. One I think was, I forgot what her religion was. I think she was Buddhist or something. I'm not quite sure. I forgot. But there's another one who I think she was Christian. I have no issues with any religions. Like, I get along with most people for the most part, as long as they're, you know, a decent human being, and I can have legit conversation. Like, we're good. So religion isn't a big deal for me. At one point in time, this is when Jeff was only teaching the class that I was in. Jeff had mentioned that he was the second coming of Christ, pretty much. That he was the second coming of Christ, and, you know, this was his purpose to bring people into union, blase, blase, blase. It didn't settle right with a lot of people, including me, and the other women, but the other two women that were in the group, and there was I think that there might have been a guy or something. I'm not quite sure how many people we had in the group. But they got extremely, they're like, no, to the point where they left. Like, they quit, the coachings and the trainings or whatever, and they kicked bricks. It was like, I'm out, deuces. And I remember one person in the group, or in the team, or in the coaching, whatever, had posted a long message on Facebook, and I think for the most part she was respectful, but she definitely voiced her opinion about what Jeff had said and stuff like that. And, you know, she was done at that point. Like I said, you know, and so I think it didn't sit right with a lot of people, but I can't speak for everyone, but I know it didn't sit right with me. But at the same time, it's like, if someone claims to be able to provide you something, and it's something that you're looking for, you know, your perfect partner, well, it's one of those, like, okay, like, I'm willing to deal with the BS if it's gonna help me get to what I get to where I want to go, or help me get what I want to get. So that was where that was. So yeah, that was that. All right, and then of course he was like, you know, they weren't willing to accept the truth, or you know, the truth. However he said it. Like I said, it's a long time ago. I can only kind of remember snippets, but I do remember that specifically because it was such a huge deal when these two people left, because they were not having that. So yeah, he's pretty much saying, they weren't ready to accept the truth, blah, 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 blah. Like, so I was like, whatever. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because, like I said, Jeff and Shaleia, they always claim that they can feel if someone's not aligning with the group and all the rest of that stuff. And like I said, I kind of go into that maybe in a different video when it comes to aligning in particular groups and stuff like that. But they used to have, and I'm not going to mention their names, but there was like this it was a poster child twin flame relationship that was like, these are the twin flames that we brought together, and they've been in harmonious union and blah 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 blah. And it was a tiger move. Nope. It was a lesbian couple or whatever. And at some point in time they did leave the group. And I'm not gonna go into why in this particular video. But they left. They decided to part ways with Jeff and Shaleia. And it was funny because they were dealing with, like, I think the sales group and doing some of the meetings and stuff like that. But it was funny because when they left, Jeff and Shaleia had posted a video on their YouTube channel, not their YouTube channel, I'm sorry, their Facebook group, talking about, kind of really addressing the situation, because like I said, these are like the poster child relationship for Jeff and Shaleia when it came to TFU, because this was the one couple who was in harmonious union, and were there from the beginning almost, pretty much, right? So they were talking about how they could feel that so long back ago that they could feel that they weren't in harmonious union anymore. Like, they were in union but they weren't in harmonious union, and they could feel them parting ways, like slowly kind of drifting away. And I'm just like, as a spiritual teacher, these people are like associated with your business, and they're teaching your stuff. Like, if you were so able to realize this information, why didn't, I'm not sure, maybe they did address it, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but it's like, I figure like you would try to figure out what the heck was going on with that. Maybe they did, I don't know. But they were talking about how, like, oh, well, we could feel, they were slowly, falling away from us and not choosing love anymore, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, who the hell are you to say if someone's choosing love or not? Because I choose not to deal with you. I choose to love myself and love, the divine. Just because I choose that and decide not to work with you does not mean I am not choosing love, which is another thing that they would constantly do. But the reason I say that is because about, maybe 4 or 5 months before the Wednesday class officially ended. Sorry, I am thirsty today. I guess because all the tea I'm spilling. But, I guess maybe 4 or 5 months before the live classes ended for the Wednesday class, I was already questioning Jeff and Shaleia. I was questioning their teachings. I was questioning their work. I was questioning how they were treating people. I was questioning a lot of different things. I was questioning if Mo was my twin flame, and I had been for a long time, but I never said anything to anyone because I already saw how they treated other people. I saw how the backlash, the bullying, the you've got, blocks and you're not choosing love and all the rest of that BS, and I was not about to deal with that crap. Usually I'm pretty good for the most part, but I don't do well with people trying to bully me. I don't do well with people trying to step over me. If I feel like that is to where I'm getting to, we're going to have an issue. Hence why these videos are being made. So I was questioning if Mo was even my twin flame, if, their teachings, all the rest of this crap. I was even looking into videos about trying to see if I can find anything regarding ex-students and stuff like that. I mean, there's even a Reddit post or Reddit subgroup or whatever they call it, regarding Jeff and Shalea's teachings, and people who have left the group, and the experiences that they've had with the group and with Jeff and Shaleia. So I've been questioning for a while. So if you were able to sense this things, why didn't you address it? You didn't address it in the live classes. You never addressed it personally to me. And I never fell out. Like, yeah, they always talk about how people naturally fade out. Yet I was in the school for the whole entire time, and I had been questioning a lot of things for a long time. I say 5 or 6 months, but I'm pretty sure it was longer. So yeah, there's that. It was never addressed, or spoken of, or I didn't fade away, as they say people do. What it is people probably get tired of their BS, and they're not going to pay for BS. Unfortunately, I did, because had to get all the tea. Whatever. So yeah, that was kind of that was an interesting thing. Never fell out. No one ever brought to my attention or came to me saying, hey, like, we feel that you're not aligning anymore. Is there anything wrong type situation? I think for a lot of people, it was people who were so active in the group, when they stopped becoming when they started to kind of step back and not becoming as active as they were, then they could tell that something was going on, right? Because if you're posting something 2-3 times a day, you're commenting on almost, every post that you might come across, and you're doing that consistently, for however long, and then you stop doing that, yeah, it's gonna look like something suspicious. Like, you're like, okay, what the hell's going on with this person? Because I see they're not as active as they used to be. But when you have someone who isn't really active to begin with, because, I don't want everybody up in my business on these groups, because I don't know y'all like that. And honestly, like I said in my previous video, there were only a few people that I would, go to have more intimate conversations with. Yeah, I used to have videos regarding my twin flame journey and stuff like that, but those were more like just vlogs and me just kind of putting my brain matter on video. But to actually legit have a conversation and work through issues that I was having with someone and have that conversation, I'm not doing it through a group of 20,000 people, or no, I don't think there's that many, but a bunch of people who I don't even really know like that. Another thing about that is also, it was funny, regarding, like I said, people who, I would reach out to. So this is going to be another long video. Jeez, I didn't realize it was going to be this long. I just want to kind of touch base on this though real quick. So before I started making these videos, I was about to make these videos. There was a buddy of mine who is an ex-student as well, and she's on Facebook. And it was funny because she had made a post about, I think I mentioned this in the other video, about her not having access to her Wednesday classes, and her reaching out to TFU, and they pretty much gave her the same BS crap that they gave me, that I showed you guys earlier in the previous video. And she had posted something about, possibly reaching out to a lawyer because of breach of contract. And I had commented on it. I was like, yo, girl, if you file, go ahead and put my name on it, boo-boo. And we were talking and whatever, and I was like, yo, like, they keep playing. Vice is going to have a second article to write. And for those who don't know, Vice actually wrote an article regarding Jeff and Shaleia. And there were a few things that they touched based on about, like, the pay for the people that worked with them and stuff like that. And boy, do I have proof on that. Like I said before, I used to be in the Divine Gaming group. So I have messages from the so-called CEO and a lot of the crap about how the payment worked. So that'll be coming up soon. I'm not sure when, but it will be a video. But it's funny because while this was all going through, I was like, yo, I still have a few people that I talked to who are in TFAS, and I was like, I don't want them to get backlash because I'm speaking, speaking out about what I went through and what I saw and what I experienced. So I went on my messenger because I was gonna be like, yo, you might want to kind of like, distance yourself from me for a little bit because this is about to happen. Like this is about to go down. And I saw that these two people in particular had blocked me. One who stated that she was out of TFU, and kind of, wasn't dealing with anybody. And the other one who was still in TFU, and I had my own thoughts on that, honestly, as to why she was still talking to me, even though I was still out of TFU. But it is what it is. But they had both blocked me, and I was like, yo, like it is what it is. Like I don't care. Like I figured, especially the one who was still in TFU, that at some point in time, like when it came down to it, that she was going to choose TFU and block me or whatever the case may be. And hey, that's all you. But it's funny because I'm just like, oh, she blocked me. Okay. But I still got the messages you sent me. And I screenshotted those too. So I'm like, yo, if you're going to block someone and you've been talking trash about the group as well, and you've been sending information about the group as well, please delete the messages first before you block me, because now you can't delete the messages. And I mean she can go back and delete the messages, but I'll still be able to see them though, because technically I'm blocked. And even if she unblocked me just enough to delete the image, the messages, I already took screenshots. So, and I've already said if I didn't take screenshots, I saved the images. So I've saved the conversations that we have had about the group. I've saved the screenshots that have been sent. Of course, when I post those, I'll block out names and faces. But like depending on when this video goes up, but last month, January, we literally had 2 phone calls talking about this. It was a 3-way phone call, so I'm not gonna say who. Like I said, I'm not gonna put people on blast because it's whatever. If they decide, they can do whatever they want to do. But I will say that I had 2 or 3 conversations, 3-way conversations, like video chats with these 2 other people. And we were talking about the issues that was going on in TFU. We were talking about the issues of how everything kind of just seems to be crumbling, and how we feel like Jeff and Shaleia don't really care about the students anymore, and how at first they did seem like they really cared, but it seems like they don't care anymore. Like they're just so focused on selling products and getting more people in this group and trying to make these sales and stuff like that. I even have a screenshot of their sales report, where it shows that the number of people who were subscribing versus the number of people who were canceling was high, and how they were talking about how they can combat that. So it's really, like I said, they blocked me. It is what it is. But it's so funny because you go into this community thinking that you're going to meet friends and friends for life, and as soon as you leave, they have people reach out to you saying, hey, can you, put a post, or make a video, so-and-so left the group, they're trash talking the group, you guys should all delete them, or, warn everyone not to look at their videos anymore. You guys should unsubscribe and unlike anything that they have and block them and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, boo-boo, for the most part, I blocked all of y'all that I could find anyway, or thought that you were associated with TFU before y'all even got to that point. There's only a few people that I didn't block. And I didn't have to worry about it. They blocked me. They blocked me themselves. So I'm like, yo, cool, kosher. But I got those screenshots though, and I got audios. God out. So, and I got audios. Jesus. So yeah, you go into this community and you think that you're gonna be meeting people who have your best interest in mind and who are going to be there to support you and help you along this journey. But as soon as you have questions or you have doubts, or you feel like this is not for you, you get what do they call it? Oh my gosh. Is excommunicated? Pretty much. But, you know, they put you on a block list. They put you on a watch list. I have screenshots of these watch lists and these block lists. They literally, and I'll have to show a video. I'm not sure if it's going to be this video, but I'll probably do another video. But I have screenshots of them wanting to block people because they, you know, were not interested in buying any of the products at the moment. Like, they just wanted a group where they were, you know, could have support and kind of, you know, get their feet wet, I guess is what they were trying to do. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, I can't speak for that person, but they put them on like a watch list or a block list. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, and then like when you leave, you know, like I said, you know, people, they block you, they unfollow you, they unfriend you. So it's for a lot of people who don't have a support system outside of that community. You don't want to say anything to go against the grain. You don't want to say anything that could cause you to probably get kicked out or to possibly have people not talk to you anymore. It's very, very cult-like. Okay, I can't call it a cult, but very cult-like in their tactics and how they treat people and things like that. So, and I'll probably do a video going more into that, because I watched tons of videos after this whole situation and realized that there's a lot of similarities as to what goes on in the group and how cults operate, and how even some MLMs operate as well. And I think I mentioned that in my previous video. So yeah, there's that. So, it is what it is. But yeah, so as far as Jeff and Shaleia being able to 100% guarantee that they can let someone know if it's their twin flame, false. Because they even had one chick, and I'm not going to mention her name, but her so-called twin flame was a guy who claimed that he was gay. Like he was a gay guy. And he got married and everything to a guy. And, you know, they just kept telling her how these were blocks that she was facing. And, you know, at some point in time, he'll see the truth and blah, blah, blah. In your home. And how, you know, he'll see the truth at some point in time. And, you know, and all this stuff. And then in your home, Tiger. Sorry about that. But at some point in time, like I said, when this whole, you know, everyone's twin flame all of a sudden got switched around, her twin flame was now a woman who was transitioning to a man, so transgender, and that was now her twin flame. Like, so it's like you've got another person who, I guess she was gay or whatever, but her twin flame was a female, and which was, you know, she had been chasing this woman for I don't even know how long, and at the end of it, her twin flame was someone completely different. I'm not sure if they were in the group or not, but they were transgender as well. And I don't have anything against the people who are transgender. Like, I've got tons of friends who are transgender, and I love them to death. Like, those my homies. So, yeah, it's like, you obviously cannot tell whose twin flame is who. Like, everyone almost, I would say almost, has a different so-called twin flame, and it makes no sense. So it's really, really weird how that happened. So I'm going to end this video right now. It's over 34 minutes. I will say there are the people who have made videos regarding Jeff and Shaleia. There are different articles of people who have talked about Jeff and Shaleia and this group. There's the Vice article. There's another article that another guy has written. There's at least 4, 5 plus other people on YouTube who are speaking out about their experience with Jeff and Shaleia. I'm going to try to post everything in the description so you guys have that information and you guys can do your own research. I will also post the link to the Twin Flame Reddit group that's against Jeff and Shaleia and regarding ex-students who have gone through a lot of stuff as well. But that's all I have for right now. Like I said, Jeff and Shaleia, they can't tell whose twin flame is who, apparently. They can't tell if someone's falling away unless there's obviously clear signs. And for those who have blocked me, hey, it be what it be. Good luck on your journey. And for those who are in TFU or TFAS or whatever, anyone who's watching this video that's a part of that group, thanks for the views. I don't... Oh, man. But that's it for right now. Another video will be coming soon. So, peace out, and you guys have a good day. Deuces.